Welcome to day 13 of the 14-day Buddhist plan for the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Alan Pito. So day 13, we're talking about the Five Remembrances. Yep. The things we've been reciting every single day since day one. Now, the Five Remembrances, as I've been talking about throughout all these days, is really important. It's a way to ground us, to help strengthen us up, and also to see what Mara is actually doing with these three fires, right? So when we kind of desensitize us to the manipulation, the control that Mara is actually doing to us, we're going to be able to live in our true nature of nirvana. We're not going to be controlled, manipulated in a way that's unnatural to us. We're going to be in our natural state. So the Five Remembrances is really important during the COVID-19 pandemic because we've all seen suffering, fear, greed, anger, delusion. All these things are actually happening, right? Whether we've done it, experienced it, seen it, even on TV, whatever the case might be, it's going to be hard for, I think, for any of us not to have encountered or heard or seen of any of this type of stuff. And how does it affect us? How does it control us, right? So the Five Remembrances are really important to help us, as I mentioned already, to kind of to ground us, to help us, kind of break through that delusion, that greed, that anger, that hatred, all that stuff that's kind of controlling us right now through Mara. So that's why we want to recite these every single day and as much as possible. We want to know, I am of the nature to age, to get old. And with that, yes, will come ill health. So, we're not at a constant state of like, you're a baby, perfect. No, even at that point when you're just newly born, you're starting to age. Even inside the womb, you're starting to age. It's a constant process until we die. So getting ill health can happen at any point. Of course, it can happen more as we get older, but yes, it could happen at any time. And what I mentioned in the past, ill health could be anything from a minor cold to something as serious as COVID-19. And even to that, there's different degrees. That people have like mild symptoms, some people are very serious symptoms, including dying. So illness happens to us all, and the fear of that is definitely something that's really ingrained in us because yes, we could definitely die, and we're attached to ourselves and to the concept of self, and so that really controls us as well. Not to say that you're not existing right now and stuff like that, but we have such an attachment that we don't want to think about these things. We don't want to think about ourselves getting older, or our loved ones, or friends, family, whomever, or anybody getting sick, including ourselves, or anybody dying. Do not want to think about that because that brings up these feelings that we don't like, and those feelings are what fuel up those three fires as well. So if I just ignore it, then this won't fire up, right? But when something happens, especially like COVID-19, they just come raging because we've never learned to control those fires, or better yet, extinguish, put out those fires. Changing, separation. That's the key part of all this as well. Everything's going to change. Nothing's permanent, in our lives. Everything's changing, including us, our situations, everything. Some things, as I mentioned in the past, can take eons, or beyond our imagination of like lifespan. Some things can be immensely short. As a human being, we're only around for a couple of decades. That's a good amount of time, but it's also a very short amount of time as well too, which makes us very fearful. So the big part of what the Buddha was trying to teach us was that the only thing that is our true possessions, this body, this existence, this mind, this thoughts and everything, it's not my true possessions. My true possessions are my actions. So the actions you're taking, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic where everything else kind of like flaming up, that's your only true possession. So are you doing wholesome actions or unwholesome actions? Being mindful, or are you just being reckless and unmindful, right? You want to generate wholesome karma, especially at this point. If you will, forget about generating right, merit and stuff like that. Wholesome actions is where your mind should be definitely focused right now. And so those first 8 days of the Buddhist Noble Eightfold Path, that'll get you right there. We talked about a few other things as well, but yes, being mindful, right concentration, right mindfulness, the right thought, right speech, right action, all these different things help us with making sure our only possessions, our actions, are truly wholesome. And they spread out. Our actions, we're never sure like how the actions will actually impact other people, including ourselves. It can happen right away. It can happen, a long time away. We don't know. So maybe that action of taking out toilet paper, whatever the case might be, you want to be very mindful of that. So 5 remembrances, do it every day. It's really important, and I'll see you tomorrow for our last day. Thank you.